Well, hey guys, in this week's video, I'm going to talk about what we did in week 1 when we had the marbles on the track, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about what we're doing with the paper cars. So remember when you had the marbles on the track, and I really pushed you pretty hard to answer the question, if I have, say, 4 or 5 marbles in a row, all touching, and I ran one marble into that, the question was how many came out the other end, and whether it came out that way every single time, or was it random, or just did it sometimes. Okay, now the answer to that is that it should have come out one marble every single time. So let me show you another example of how that would work. Let me tip my computer screen down here a little bit. And let me give you this. Okay, this is called a Newton's device. And so I've got marbles hanging from strings right here, and they're pretty much all touching. If I pull one back, one goes out the other side. Okay, now these jiggle around a little bit because the strings might be off just a touch or something like that. They don't hang exactly where they're supposed to, but I should have probably tweaked this before I got started. So my question to you then is, if I pull this and I pull 2 marbles back, how many will come out the other side? 2 every time. And we'll continue to do it that way. Okay? If I pull 3 back, how many are going to come out the other side? Well, it's 3. Okay? And if I pull 4 back, 4 will come out the other side. All right? This is because of what we call the third law of motion. The third law of motion states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So the action is that I pulled one marble back and pushed it into a whole pile of marbles. And since there was one back, that's going to be the action. The reaction is that one will go out the other side. It's equal, but it's also opposite. When I had you look at different websites today, or this week for your assignment, be sure to take a look at that. You're going to be introduced to some terms around motion, some ideas about how things move. You're going to read or hear about kinetic energy and potential energy. You're also going to hear about the first law of motion, the second law of motion, and then it'll talk again about the third law of motion. Then I also will have you take a look at a podcast on another science and engineering practice, and this one's called Constructing Explanations and Designing Solutions in Engineering. And I want you to think about how do these science and engineering practices play with what we're doing with paper cars. In other words, how are you using these science and engineering practices as you're building your paper cars? So that'll be it for this week. Enjoy reading that material, taking notes on it, and I'll see you in class next week. Thanks.